Some people have long suspected that the mind is capable of levels of awareness that extend beyond ordinary perceptions and beyond what is typically labeled as the subconscious. This broader dimension of cognition, sometimes referred to as a superconscious state, has been credited with enabling remarkable transformations, instant insights, and experiences of what could be called transcendent creativity. While the term itself might vary across different cultures, traditions, and disciplines, there is a common thread: the suggestion that human consciousness is more expansive and powerful than conventional beliefs allow. In this realm, the usual constraints of time, space, and entrenched habit appear to loosen or dissolve, permitting outcomes that might seem almost miraculous from the standpoint of normal reasoning. Many spiritual and philosophical traditions, including those of some cultures that incorporate concepts found in Hindu teachings, have for centuries described a universal intelligence that interconnects all things. At its core is the idea that each individual is not merely a passive witness to external forces, but rather an active participant in the ongoing creation of reality. From this perspective, thoughts and emotions are not just private, internal events. They have a ripple effect, influencing the unfolding of circumstances in ways that remain largely mysterious to standard analytical approaches. While different schools of thought explain this in distinct ways, ranging from metaphors about cosmic webs to theories of quantum observer effects, the underlying principle remains that there is more to perception than meets the eye. It is not unusual for some people to speak of spontaneous inventions, poems, or epiphanies that arrive fully formed, as though dropping into the mind from somewhere else. Inventors, mystics, and artists across eras have often alluded to moments of clarity that defy the usual step-by-step method of logical problem-solving. In these flashes, solutions can emerge wholesale, dissolving confusion in a single instant. Those who have cultivated what might be called superconscious awareness often recount that stepping into this state involves setting aside worry, doubt, or incessant mental chatter. Instead, one trusts a deeper intelligence that transcends the usual boundaries of rational thought. By entering a calm, receptive mindset, they appear to tap a wellspring of ideas and intuitions that are not filtered by the constraints of learned limitations. Studies in psychology and certain branches of frontier science have tried to investigate how the observer interacts with the observed. Although there are debates about the interpretation, experiments that explore quantum phenomena continue to suggest that observation plays a role in shaping outcomes. While the details can be technically intricate, the broad implication resonates with some older teachings. Consciousness might be an active force in the emergence of events. The superconscious mind, in this sense, becomes a bridge to that realm where reality is not yet fixed, but fluid and open to influence from intention and belief. Operating from this higher vantage point, individuals can often make rapid changes in personal behavior, emotional patterns, or even external life circumstances. This process can sound esoteric, but many treat it as a practical discipline. Instead of relying on slow, incremental changes wrought by willpower alone, a person who masters a superconscious perspective might experience an almost effortless shift in attitude, like throwing a switch. Conditioned ways of thinking drop away, replaced by a broader clarity. As a result, old fears that once loomed large can shrink or vanish, replaced by a sense of possibility. Some people compare this experience to the phenomenon of flow, observed in activities requiring deep focus, such as sports, music, or art. In a flow state, one becomes so immersed in the present moment that the sense of self-conscious tension fades, and actions unfold seamlessly. Yet, the superconscious dimension is described as extending beyond even that experience. It is not simply about heightened performance in a given task, but an ongoing attunement to universal intelligence, where solutions and breakthroughs can appear from an inexhaustible source of insight. Under these conditions, one might spontaneously receive guidance about a vexing life problem, create a new invention, or find an unexpected path to healing. Accessing this higher awareness commonly involves specific mental practices. Meditation is often mentioned as a principal tool, since it quiets surface-level chatter and gently opens a gateway to deeper strata of mind. When the usual mental whirl settles, the mind naturally becomes more receptive to subtle impressions and inspirations. Techniques such as visualization can also be integrated, sometimes blending with meditative states. By picturing a desired outcome in vivid detail, and by feeling that this outcome is truly present, an individual can spark a chain reaction in the deeper layers of consciousness. Repeated exposure to these images, accompanied by a positive emotional charge, helps align the mind with the intention more thoroughly. A key element in such alignment is the elimination of internal conflict. Many teachings emphasize that attempts to manifest or change reality at a superconscious level can be undermined by contradictory beliefs lodged within the psyche. If, for instance, one consciously aims to transform a situation but subconsciously entertains a strong doubt about deserving that outcome, the conflicting signals can muddle results. Entering a superconscious state often demands letting go of all such doubts, or systematically addressing and dissolving them through introspection and self-inquiry. In doing so, one creates an internal environment that is both coherent and receptive to new possibilities. Once an individual consistently cultivates superconscious awareness, changes may appear that look effortless or even abrupt from the outside. What used to be an obstacle might dissipate, replaced by circumstances that align with the new internal vision. Observers sometimes chalk this up to coincidence or luck, but practitioners often interpret it as evidence that the external world mirrors the convictions and energies flowing within. That stance is not meant to deny the existence of challenges or complexities in life, but rather to highlight that each challenge can be navigated differently when approached from a higher vantage. The superconscious perspective can reframe obstacles as catalysts, spurring creative solutions that once seemed out of reach. Another fascinating dimension of this phenomenon is that it can foster a sense of interconnectedness. Many who experience superconscious insights describe feeling a deeper bond with other people, nature, or even the cosmos. Ego-based concerns about controlling outcomes might soften, replaced by confidence in a larger, benevolent flow that supports growth and discovery. This shift in worldview often leads to more harmonious relationships and a sense of alignment with purposeful living. As one becomes more practiced in accessing superconscious intelligence, life's rhythms begin to feel more synchronized and less random. None of this is to suggest that developing superconscious awareness exempts people from effort or from the trials of everyday life. Instead, the difference lies in how effort is applied and how problems are perceived. Even something as mundane as making decisions about health, career, or relationships can be guided by deeper intuition that emerges from a quiet place of clarity. Unexpected opportunities can be recognized more swiftly as the mind is no longer bogged down in habitual second-guessing. Emotional resilience improves because the ability to shift perspective is more readily available. The sense of confidence is not necessarily about controlling external events absolutely, but about knowing that the mind can adapt, discover, and create in ways that standard logic might not anticipate. These transformations can happen swiftly because, from the superconscious viewpoint, time is more flexible than is commonly believed. The constraints that typically demand slow, stepwise progress can be bypassed by a sudden realignment of mental patterns. In certain accounts, individuals who have grappled with a problem for years find resolution in a single, clear insight that arises in a meditative or tranquil state. Others tell stories of how an unwavering mental picture of success or healing seemed to compress what would usually be a long timeline into a near-immediate outcome. While such anecdotes naturally raise skeptical eyebrows, they also highlight that the conventional cause and effect model may not capture the full spectrum of how consciousness interacts with events. It is crucial to acknowledge, however, that harnessing superconscious power requires more than mere curiosity. Consistency in practice, openness to new ideas, and an honest effort to refine one's emotional and mental environment are pivotal. Releasing self-imposed limitations can be a profound process, especially if the mind has been shaped by lifelong conditioning in scarcity or fear. People who embark on this journey may employ various strategies: daily meditation, journaling for self-reflection, supportive affirmations, or time in nature to quiet the restless mind. By patiently sustaining these habits, they prepare the ground for experiences that can seem almost magical. Yet, the phenomenon is described as not so much magic, but an expansion into one's innate capabilities. Some traditions say every human has an inborn link to a universal intelligence. The real question then is whether one chooses to tune in or not. Skeptics might dismiss it all as a psychological trick, but practitioners see tangible results. They develop an unshakable conviction, not based on blind faith, but on repeated personal observation, that changing inner states truly does correlate with external shifts. Over time, each new triumph, be it a creative invention, a personal healing, or a synchronicity-laden path to a cherished goal, reinforces the sense that a deeper current runs through everyday life. Because superconscious alignment relies heavily on sincerity and clarity, individuals who cultivate it must be mindful of their core motivations. Shallow attempts to manipulate outcomes for fleeting desires or self-serving aims may not produce the same resonance as intentions that resonate with genuine purpose or well-being. Many narratives suggest that the energy of the superconscious thrives where authenticity, compassion, and broad-minded aspiration flourish. Indeed, this approach fosters humility, as the deeper intelligence one connects with is understood to be vast, intricate, and shared by all living beings. The consistent theme, then, is one of empowerment that arises from an expanded sense of identity. A person functioning from the superconscious does not see themselves merely as a small entity buffeted by external forces, but rather as an active co-creator with life's unfolding. Even challenges become invitations to grow and test the boundaries of creative response. Over time, this shift of perspective shapes how one thinks about relationships, career choices, personal passions, and service to the wider world. It provides a framework for living that surpasses survival concerns, guiding individuals to ask bigger questions about purpose, contribution, and the nature of reality. From a practical standpoint, the journey towards superconscious living can be integrated into daily routines. Each morning, for example, someone might spend a few minutes in quiet reflection, affirming intentions that evoke positive emotions, letting go of lingering doubts, and envisioning solutions or outcomes that resonate with their highest aspirations. Throughout the day, short intervals of deep breathing or mindful awareness can help maintain a sense of connection to this deeper dimension. In the evening, one might recall any instances where intuition played a guiding role, or reflect on moments of synergy that felt more than coincidental. Over weeks, this pattern of reflection and openness forms a virtuous cycle, reinforcing the mind's access to superconscious insight. Though the prospect of instantaneous transformation may still sound extraordinary, accounts throughout history, both ancient and modern, attest to such phenomena. Whether it is an inventor describing a revelation of a new concept, a patient experiencing a near-instant remission, or an artist struck by a sudden masterpiece, the evidence suggests that leaps beyond conventional progress are possible. These leaps become more comprehensible when framed within the notion of a superconscious state that transcends routine cognitive barriers. Ultimately, the superconscious mind invites a shift in how one perceives reality itself. No longer is the individual merely reacting to a static world, but instead collaborating with a living, flexible matrix that can respond to faith, clarity, and heartfelt intention. A life infused with superconscious awareness moves beyond mechanical routines and uncertainties. Rather than pushing and straining, one can move with an inspired sense of ease, aligning with flows of energy and opportunity that might otherwise remain hidden. For some people, it is precisely this shift that transforms existence from a struggle into an ongoing adventure brimming with new possibilities. In choosing to cultivate superconscious insights and experiences, one embarks on a path that merges purpose, creativity, and profound realization, all of which can reconfigure not just personal destiny, but the broader tapestry of human existence.